What's up, Deadites? Welcome to part 2 of What If Deku was Spider-Man. I'm happy that you liked it so much. Now here we go. Ryo and Deku did various tests to determine what his limits were. They discovered that he had the proportionate strength of a spider and heightened reflexes, as well as some kind of sixth sense that they dubbed spider sense that alerted him of danger. Deku had fangs now, as well as retractable talons, and his eyes now seemed sensitive to light. To be more specific, sudden changes in the light. He realized that he could perceive things faster, farther, and clearer than he had any business seeing. He would have to think up a name for this vision. The two scientists also swabbed Deku's fangs to discover that he could produce venom. The only thing they hadn't quite figured out quite yet was his invisibility. Izuku, honey, do you realize what this means? Ryo excitedly asked her nephew. Deku wasn't stupid, but he decided to humor his aunt. That I can be a hero! They both jumped up and down with glee. They took some time to come up with a training regimen for Izuku. While he knew how to fight, he still had to get used to his heightened senses, reflexes, and even his power. It took him a week to be able to touch delicate equipment, and a few more days to be able to not stick to anything without wanting to. After that was done, it was off to training camp with Ryo to a remote location. Ryo is enjoying the time bonding with Izuku. If you haven't guessed by now, these two are really close. Ryo wanted a son, she got a daughter. Inko wanted a daughter, she got a son. This does not mean that they love their children any less. Since he could stick to any surface, they decided to do some infiltration training. The goal was to get in without raising alarms. By this point, that is wall crawling down to a science. No pun intended there. It took him a few times to do the run properly, but he got it eventually. Deku was not happy with his first success since it involved accidental invisibility. But after that, he realized that it was linked to some sort of flight or flight reflex, and focused on doing that. Now, here's where I'm gonna balance things out just a tidbit. I'm pretty sure this is how it works anyway, but just in case I'm going for it, he has to focus on being invisible. If his focus breaks, blammo, he's in plain sight. There were points in time where his spider sense went off and broke his concentration. Run it again, Izuku! Going invisible won't help if you can't keep it up. Ryo helped with his spider sense until he could react without losing focus. After he nailed the exercise a few more times, they moved on. Sorry guys, I live with my family. I apologize if you're hearing their conversations going on in the background. Now, where were we? Deku had some downtime since Ryo had a few meetings to attend. And before you ask, he handled his work from the bunker he'd been training in. Deku had a week to himself, so he utilized it designing a suit and something that would fit his spider motif: web shooters. Now, if there's one thing I hate about some of the newer Spider-Man designs, it's external web shooters. Sure, they look cool, but they plant this giant target on Spidey's wrist. So I won't be going that route. Deku integrated them into the suit. He also had concerns about what he had dubbed his accelerated vision. Izuku would continue to wear glasses, but these glasses are going to be protected against all kinds of UV light and various other ranges of light. And no, I'm not going to go with sunglasses because he's trying to keep it inconspicuous. He's not Cyclops, people. Once the glasses were satisfactory to him, He used similar material for lenses in his mask. He even added a gas mask to it should he need it. And like I said, it's not some big bulky gas mask, it's more like a serious military grade air filter type deal, which is a gas mask, but you get the point. It's integrated into his suit. Now the web fluid, I wanted to go the whole Spider-Man Unlimited type route, but considering his suit isn't made out of nanites, that's not going to work. So we're going to go with teeny tiny canisters, like the small CO2 canisters you'd get for a emergency flat fix for your cycling kit. For those of you who ride a bike that know, those are going to be roughly that size. He's going to contain these canisters, or at least a few of them, should he need to do a quick swap of web fluid, in his utility belt. He'll also have a few different types of webs, or at least this prototype. It's cloth. This suit will have, which will be taser webs. He's working on impact webbing, but it's not quite there yet. The suit we're going with is the suit you saw in the last video, so just I'd let you guys know on that one. Coming up with a fabric that functions similar to his skin and didn't hinder his ability to stick to walls was really a pain, but he figured it out. Took him a little while, but he's got it. Suit is gonna get replaced often. If only I had a stronger material. Rio lets out a whistle. Looking good, kid. I'm glad you have a suit and it works well for you. Do you have a name for yourself? Izuku looks in the mirror and answers his aunt's question. I'm Spider-Man. Rio says that it has a nice ring to it, but there was one thing that bothered her. Why the mask? Izuku goes on to explain that it's to keep him off a lab table and to keep his loved ones out of the line of fire. He didn't like the idea, but if he wanted to keep his identity a secret, he'd have to pull some strings and get a corporate license. Rio agrees to this idea, but only on the condition that he continues to go to UA. His reason for the mask was valid. Other Quirkless would want to test him in order to gain power for themselves, and that didn't sit right with her. Fast forward a month, and news of All Might capturing the sludge villain is all over, well, every basic news channel, because All Might. There's no Izuku to mess that one up, so Bakugo is just fine. Katsuki Bakugo, that is. Changed to Izuku's perspective to see him working on a tracker for his eventual career as Spider-Man. Masaru was driving Izuku home after enjoying the new All Might flick. Deku was just going to call his chauffeuse and wait for her, but Masaru was having none of that. I'll take you home, Izuku. Come on. We can talk a little more on the way. You've been gone for 2 months on your research bender. Good thing you, otherwise the school would call you a truant. Masaru joked around. The car was running low on range, and they had to stop at a recharge station. Izuku had to use the bathroom, so he went in while Masaru was filling up, so to speak. After he got done taking the Browns to the Super Bowl, a familiar feeling went off. Why is my spider... Give us the money and nobody gets hurt. Don't even try to hit the alarm. My friend over here has a jamming quirk. They've got guns, and I didn't bring my spare shooters. I'll have to divide and conquer. Deku goes invisible and lets the door close slowly. The guy at the counter had a shotgun, and his friend seemed to have an SMG of sorts. Ugh, idiots with access to black market weapons. Just great. Not 100% certain on Japanese gun law, but last I checked, it was hard to get a gun there. It's like a lot of red tape, even more so. But, uh, I digress. Let's get back to the story. How old are these yahoos? Their masks are clearly from a video game, Izuku thought to himself. As he got closer to his target, Deku bit him on his free hand. It only took seconds for it to take effect. The man in what appeared to be a clown mask with an American flag on it, Deku's victim, snarls as he collapses and foams at the mouth. Oh shit! Dallas is down! Must have been that meth. With Dallas down, the guy at the register pressed the button. I thought I told you no funny business! Before the man in the clown mask with dark vertical scars on the eyes could even think of pulling the trigger, Deku cocks the gun and Dallas dropped. Don't be a friggin' idiot. Drop the gun, or I drop you worse than I did your friend. The robber complies and gets promptly bit. Izuku looks at the camera and isn't worried. He remembered Dallas's jamming quirk and assumed the camera was jammed the whole time. So, no footage of him unmasked. What he did not account for was what happened next. Dallas! Chains! What's taking so long? We got a new car. Let's get out of... Aw, crap! They've been taken out. Book it! Whoever you are, if you follow us, this guy is dead! Little did they know that the stress they are adding to Masaru is causing him to sweat profusely. Masaru rubs his hands together and the guy holding him loses an arm. In his fight or flight moment, he failed to aim the explosion and it hit the gun as well. The gunpowder and the bullets kind of cook and blasted dude. I'm gonna say that Masaru has resistance to explosions like Bakugo, Katsuki Bakugo, but they're nowhere near as strong. Hoxton, you son of a... If you know Payday well enough, then you know that this guy was using codename Wolf. Don't worry, these idiots are not the real Payday crew. Like I said earlier, they just took their monikers and masks from the game, which Izuku will laugh at later when this is way beyond him. Back to the point. Wolf was unarmed since he had a fire quirk. Now this guy is no endeavor, but fire is fire. The flames engulf Masaru. No! Izuku rushes out and punches Wolf out cold, and then goes to douse Masaru as quickly as possible. Masaru is burnt very badly and in need of immediate medical attention. Izuku calls for a medevac, goes in and asks for any form of painkiller or anything that can temporarily soothe burns. The shopkeep gladly gave him what he needed, because, well, he saved his life. Izuku didn't leave Masaru's side and wasn't blamed for the accident at all. It wasn't his fault. It was just really bad luck, says Mitsuki. Except to Izuku... sorry about that, guys. Except to Izuku, it was his fault. Had he been faster, he could have... Part of him didn't told him not to go down that road, but he just couldn't resist. He will make a point to have his suit with him at all times in the future. Ryo said he did good work, and it was unavoidable. She was right, and he knew it, but once again, Izuku needed to feel bad for a while. He felt like he failed. Katsuki wanted info on what happened, and Deku told him everything. Katsuki decks Deku for having so much doubt in himself. It's one of those where someone, when someone does something incredibly awesome that you can never really dream of doing yourself, and they play it off like it was some sort of a fluke. Yeah, that's what's going on with Katsuki. He's pissed at that. The fact that Deku's belittling himself when he pulled off something incredible. So, you got these abilities and attempted to use them to defuse the situation that eventually went south. I'm not going to blame you, Deku. They were going to take Dad one way or another. He's badly hurt, but your boys in medical research say they can help him. If you hadn't taken action, 2 people would be dead. It's like, what's that your old man always said anyway? With great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, that. Now, stop the pity party and be proud of yourself, webhead. FYI, Izuku's dad isn't in the picture. Doesn't mean that he's not married to Inko, doesn't mean he doesn't love Izuku. It's just his work is keeping him stateside. Minor surgery was needed for Masaru, and he had to spend a few days in the regenerative bath. His vitals showed good signs. Had Wolf's flames been any stronger, or had Masaru not possessed moderate levels of corrosive resistance. I'm just adding that one since acid sweat, so I think he would have that. He would have been, well, screwed. There would have definitely been scars, or worse. If Izuku hadn't been there, Deku killed that thought. He was there, he saved lives, and stopped criminals. He did good work. Good illegal work. Or so Izuku thought. In his closet was a new suit that seemed kind of like armor mixed with fabric. He could tell that the suit was nanotech, but that was one problem with that. This suit was custom made, and Oscorp didn't have any experts in the field. Nanotech was... oh wow. The moment Deku touched the suit, a hologram of a childhood friend who lived in New York popped up. Hey, Izzy. Your aunt told me we were gonna need... Enjoy your foray into the world of corporate heroes, Spider-Man. Love your best gal pal, Tony Stark, a.k.a. Iron Maiden. Izuku just stood there and didn't believe for a second that this was a recording. Alright, you got me. I made this for you, and I hope you like it. Don't blame yourself, Izzy. That's how heroes get nightmares. Trust me, I know. Tony went on to speak about how long she tormented herself over killing her Uncle Obadiah Stane, and how Izuku and Roberta were there for her when it explained that it was either him or her. She shouldn't feel shame about that. Talking about this again brought the point home to Izuku. He wouldn't let it haunt him, but he would use it to make himself better. He closed the holocall and dialed Ryo and told her to schedule the press conference necessary for him to become the corporate hero of Oscorp. Like his old man says, with great power comes great responsibility.